Start advisory without changing your firm. I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESSBIZTOOLS. I'd like to talk to you today about something that I'm having more and more comments made to me by accountants and bookkeepers. I know that doing more advisory is important, but I don't know where to start. And that's a very honest comment. And I hope to be able to give you some guidance on what you should do in this small talk to you today. Because for many firms, the work that you've been doing for years has been financial statements, tax returns, business activity statements, compliance reporting. And now we're talking about a whole range of other things, evaluating starting a business before the client resigns from employment. And I think that's very important because when you do your analysis, you may find that your client hasn't got enough money to start a business, or they haven't appropriately analysed their potential competitors. The same thing can apply for someone looking to buy a business. Do they really understand what's involved in the business? Do they understand the working hours? Are the conditions in the contract that they may have gone up and signed before they got advice from you and from a solicitor can be a great disadvantage to them. Debtors management. The MYOB survey of 1,000 businesses that they conducted 2 years ago identified that many people going into business had no idea about debtors management. Some of them assumed that they automatically had to grant a credit account to anyone that asked for it. So it's a vital ingredient for business success that your new client understands debtors management. And the other big issue that MYOB identified was real problems when it comes to dealing with suppliers. A significant number of those 1,000 new businesses had assumed that the suppliers that they needed to deal with to have products coming to their businesses would automatically grant them 30-day payment terms. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. When they went to open those accounts, they were asked to give their first order, and they did that, and then they were asked to pay for the value of that first order straight away. Because suppliers have been caught, unfortunately, by people who have not been able to pay their bills. And suppliers are now putting a lot of new people on trial for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to see how they go before they'll give them a 30-day account. The SME needs analysis that ESSBISTOOLS has developed based on some original work that was done by the Financial Management Research Centre, FMRC, is a great tool that you can use to start the conversation with a client. Because think about it. What services have you been supplying to your clients in the last 12 months, 2 years? I suspect most of it related to those 4 items that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Financial statements, tax returns, business activity statements, compliance reporting. They're important, but they're not the issues that your clients need advice on. They need advice on business matters. Financial, commercial, management accounting matters is what they need advice on. And they need you to help them on that. One of the biggest misconceptions in our profession is that you need to change everything to start advisory. Well, you don't. You don't need to restructure your entire firm. You don't need to replace your systems or suddenly become something completely different, because advisory services are not something that just happens, and they need to be structured. They are delivered systematically, and they are built step by step in the overall process. So let's be very clear about where we are as a profession. The term Key Strategic Advisor was developed by Intuit QuickBooks and was utilised in their SMB 2025 report on talking to SME operators and to accountants. They are a key partner in our business and our go-to professional for advice, and they are extremely valuable to our business's growth and success. Now, isn't this the endorsement that you would love to receive from all of your business clients? Well, Intuit surveyed 500 SMEs from all over Australia, and only 15% of those firms identified that their accountant or bookkeeper was supplying them the key strategic partner service. Only 15%. There's a significant gap to what accountants believe that the level of services that they are providing. Because around the same time, in August 2025, when this report was released, a very experienced ex-partner of Deloitte produced his own report based on interviews of 80 accountants and 20 bookkeepers. And he found that that group, 80% of them identified that they believed they were providing an outstanding range of services to SME clients. That's the significant gap, and it's one that we as a profession need to seriously look at. At ESSBISTOOLS, we are clear in our commitment. We will assist our members by supplying training and continual updates on our material to assist you to be able to deliver a key strategic partner service to your SME clients, because we believe that's very important. So how do you start? You start small. You don't have to go out and suddenly take on an extra 40 clients that you're going to offer advisory services to. You start with a structured conversation. Inquire what they're really doing in their business. Start acting as if you were the employed accountant in the client's business. The client is the boss. What type of discussions would you be having? Taxation would get mentioned occasionally, but only occasionally. There's a whole range of other issues like costing exercises. If we change this process, what's going to be the variation in costs? If we did this differently, what's the change? We have sample tools within our system to help you, and we have clear frameworks to guide you through the process. This is where the ESSBISTOOLS starter package comes in, because we provide templates, systems, training resources, client communication tools, a range of services very similar to what you would be delivering if you were the employed accountant in your client's business, whether it's a manufacturing business, whether it's a legal firm, whether it's a retail business. Accountants do a lot more work in those firms than just prepare annual accounts and income tax returns. Now, I know you know that, but it's important that we accept as a profession that our clients need that business advice. And the logical person to supply it is you to your clients. We also produce a monthly newsletter, the Business Plus newsletter. It's an advisory communication. It's got 4 to 6 articles in each edition. You badge it, send to your clients. But before sending it out, we suggest you read it and note down which clients will be interested in the various articles. And then 3 or 4 days later, contact them. Did you read that article about debtors systems? We talked about debtors a few weeks ago. Would you like me to have a conversation with you and we can show you how we can implement a debtors system to save you having the problem with bad debts and cash flow problems because your debtors days outstanding have blown out to 80 days where it should only be at the most 30 days. And the Business Insights, a weekly prompt that we're sending you where you can send it to your clients and gauge their reaction. You might talk about debtors management. You might talk about costing exercises. You might ask them if they're interested in trying to raise some more capital and they could look at crowdsourced funding equity raising. As a profession, we need to be communicating to the SME market because they have got used to accountants in public practice only being interested in taxation matters. We need to be telling them about the other services that you're trained for and equipped for to be able to deliver. And we can give you the resources because that's the big problem many firms face. And all this is designed to assist you to deliver an outstanding range of advisory services without disrupting your compliance work. Because most firms that we're talking to will continue to do compliance, and we'd like to add advisory to the mix because we believe that the future will dictate to you that you need to be offering more and more advisory work. We've got some clients that have got a category of 30% compliance and 70% advisory. Now, that's probably going to an extreme. I think the target should be over time. You will achieve a 50-50 split. So you gradually will build the advisory component. Let's say you're working with a client. Instead of just preparing their tax return, why don't you start asking them their questions? Some questions. What are your goals for the next 12 months? What are the key challenges that you're facing in your business? What's happening with your cash flow? And the cash flow can be affected by a range of matters, can't it? It can be there's been a blowout in the debtors ledger, or they've overbought in stock and the inventory levels are going higher, or they started a research and development project and it's cost a bit more than the $30,000 that they originally thought. They're up to $70,000. It's chewing up cash flow. What can they do about it? But that's advisory, and that's what your clients need assistance in. And when you have structures behind conversations, you start building real value for your clients, for your team members, because they will be undertaking interesting and challenging work, and obviously for your firm, because your clients will be very happy with the work they're doing. So my simple message to you is there are changes occurring in the accountancy profession, not only just in Australia, but in USA, Canada, England, all big markets around the world. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Get started with one or two clients. Get them started. They'll start talking in the marketplace. Don't think you need to change your entire firm. But as part of the process, we hope that you will encourage your younger accounting team members to get involved, because you really need to develop some champions. Your champion on debtors management, your champion on cash flow forecast, your champion on business plan preparation. So the starter package that ESSBISTOOLS has produced, your investment for a 12-month subscription, paid monthly, is $66 per month. You will get a very attractive return on investment on that process if you follow our process. Or if you want to pay us 12 months in advance, we'll give you a significant discount. So the saving will be reflected in the subscription of $659 upfront for 12 months, and that includes GST. So this is all about taking the first step. I look forward to hearing from you. You can contact us at www.essbiztools.com.au and click on to the ESSBISTOOLS starter package so you can see the package that we are promoting in this week's promotion. Or you can send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au, or telephone me on 0418 190 181. Have a great day and stay safe. Goodbye. And I look forward to hearing from you.